So welcome everyone to this ROV Meditation Tips segment. And today, Stephen and I continue our series on how subtle energy meditation reduces anxiety. So last week we talked about how we feel anxiety when we feel like we're facing some situation or task or challenge that is really big, and we feel like the resources we have in terms of our skills, our time, our energy, our money, whatever, are not sufficient to handle that. So we talked about how the preliminary skills of subtle energy meditation are antidotes to that, in terms of changing our relationship to how we're feeling about ourselves and how we're relating to that challenge in front of us. So we talked about interoception and mindfulness as inner skills we can use to tune into sensations of anxiety and then approach them in a way of sensation that takes away the story of it, and to observe with mindfulness that gives us some perspective and distance from the situation. So today we're going to talk about how to use the first step of subtle energy meditation to reduce anxiety. And that first step is preparation. And we think of preparation in terms of three categories. One is preparing your body, two is preparing your environment, and three is preparing your intention. So in meditation, we prepare the body for meditating, get it ready, get ourselves loose and limber and energized, well rested. And then we prepare the environment by creating a quiet space, quiet private space with a good seat and maybe some things around us that remind us of our deeper intention. And we call our deeper intention into our practice to energize our focus and concentration. So how does that relate to anxiety? So when you're facing a situation and you're feeling anxious about it, one of the things you can do that can really make a difference is to prepare your body so that you are in an energized and positive and empowered state. So perhaps doing some exercise first, or just moving your body, or putting your body into a posture of empowerment. So Stephen and I just finished recording this new course called The Inner Secret. And in this course, we talk about embodying a posture which is confident and empowered. And this posture has our feet firmly on the ground and has our spine upright and our chest open, and perhaps we're looking upward and we're smiling and we're really embodying. Why don't you just do that with me now? Have your feet on the ground and be upright, have your chest open, maybe even your hands out, and you're looking up and you're smiling. And just notice how you feel in this posture, okay? You feel really empowered and open and awake and alert. And just embodying that power, that empowerment, changes the way you feel and how you may approach a situation. So it's a really simple way to prepare your body for entering a situation that feels challenging or stressful or you feel anxious about. And then two is preparing your environment. You can think about this very widely as gathering all the resources you need to successfully meet the challenge that you're facing. So what do you need resource-wise to handle this situation? And how can you call upon resources that you already have to handle this situation? So sometimes when we're feeling anxious, we're really not thinking about what we already have that can help us handle this situation. So maybe we have contacts, maybe we have people we know that can help us, or maybe we have resources that we weren't even thinking about that will help us to handle this situation. Maybe we've done something similar in the past and we can draw on what we did then to help us now. So gathering our resources together is a great way to prepare our environment that supports us in not being anxious in the situation we're going into. So, how can you gather what you need to face a situation and be successful? And so, those are preparing the body, preparing your environment, gathering resources. Stephen's going to talk now about the third aspect, and maybe this is even the most important aspect of preparation, and that's how your intention, knowing your intention in a situation, can completely change your relationship to how you feel in that situation. So I'll pass it over to you, Stephen.
Thank you, Kevin. Thank you. Yes, so it is a very beautiful part of our meditation practice to consider is the intention and the attention to intention that we actually bring to our practice. Because there have been many studies that show that a purposeful approach to meditation yields very long-lasting results. So intention can mean a number of different things. Quite often when we enter into meditation practice, we might consider it a challenge, right? It might be difficult to find even 5 minutes out of our busy day just to sit down and actually tune into this infinite field of possibility that is open to us. So when we, first of all, simply making an intention to meditate is one of the basic intentions we make, that we're going to have a practice and we're going to sit down, and as Kevin was saying, we're going to prepare the body and prepare the environment so that it's conducive to our meditation. Now, it's the same with intention. We want to bring an intention that is conducive to our meditation practice. Now, it's very interesting. In many of the great traditions, there are many ways that intention is spoken of. For example, in the Tibetan Buddhist practices, they have a practice that focuses on antidotes to all our troubles, antidotes to anger or stress or jealousy or desire and so on, through applying very simple intentions, such as an intention to be generous or an intention to bring loving kindness to your practice. So these basic kind of intentions that you could consider actually qualitatively change your practice. So if we just go into our meditation practice as if it's a technique, so then we know, oh, okay, I've got to breathe and I've got to count my breaths. If we're just doing it from that point of view, it may become a very mechanical practice and something we're not inclined to connect to for a longer period of time. Because what Kevin and I are asking you to consider is that your meditation is a lifelong practice, and that you start to develop traits that actually stick rather than temporary states of heart and mind. So when you bring an intention with purpose to your practice, instead of the practice being challenging or just a technique or becoming mechanical, suddenly the quality of your practice takes on a whole different element. So in many of the ancient traditions, they speak about, for example, how to dedicate your practice, or how to bring intentions of opening to the fact that you're doing this not just for yourself, but for all sentient beings, for all the people in your family, for example. Now, so this is a very positive way to think about the intention of your practice, that in some way, your practice is going to have a healing effect on another individual or a family member or a pet or your community or the world at large. So doing this adds a whole different qualitative sense. You not only open the possibility of your brain's focus, but you open your heart field too. You open this coherent electromagnetic field that exists around your heart to a much greater possibility. And many studies have shown that when people do practices, for example, like intentional prayer, that there is an effect at a distance on another person or on a group of people. Now, so when you consider this in terms of your practice, you could consider your intention to be like a prayer or like a blessing or like an opportunity to bring some kind of positive effect to your world. So this changes the dynamics of your meditation completely. So you enter into your meditation with a quality of that wanting to open, wanting to heal, wanting to bring an intention to bring people, other people home to a sense of inward peace and love or compassion. So there's this qualitative sense that is actually can be very deeply moving. So your practice not only triggers really strong brain waves in relation to your attention, but triggers really strong heart responses in relation to the emotion that you attach to your intention. So I think this becomes very exciting for your practice. Every day you consider a new kind of intention that you want to bring. Of course, this can apply to yourself. You might be going through health struggles or some other stress or anxiety, and you'd like to bring more inner peace to your life. But when we start to open to the possibility that we wish that same inner peace for everybody else, and especially in our immediate family or our friends or our work colleagues, there's a whole different opportunity for this power of wanting to practice to stick and to become a genuinely deep and long-lasting practice. And it's the same at the end of your practice. There is an intention that you can bring to actually dedicate all the merits, all the blessings from your meditation to everybody that you've either prayed for or brought this intention towards in the beginning. So I think there's such a deep power in these simple practices of compassion and compassionate awareness and opening to offering your practice right at the beginning to help all beings, especially those of your immediate family, friends, and workplace. And then throughout the meditation, you find that this intention actually creates a quality to your meditation that might not have been there before. So as you're going through your meditation and you find that your mind might start to wander, which it does do naturally, especially in the beginning as you're doing these practices, that you bring it back again and again to the simple intention that you fostered at the beginning in your preparation, which is to help all beings, to bring healing, to bring loving kindness, or to bring compassion to each moment. And this can be such a deep anchoring sentiment or point for your practice that after some time of doing this, you might never want to begin your day without having this love and kindness or this intention of bringing these very generous qualities to all your family, to all those that you love. So as a way of very simply anchoring your practice, bringing these qualities of generosity, of compassion, of offering the merits of your practice to all other beings, of really including everybody as being part of the reason that you meditate, just adds a completely different qualitative intention to not just the beginning, but all the way through your meditation and the end, and the reason that you might want to continue this for many, many years, because it really does feel so very good. And you collectively begin to touch the entire cosmos and all its beings, because they become part and are embraced in every moment of your both meditative and waking life. So,
beautiful, Stephen. Thank you so much, Stephen. That really widens out the meditation practice, right? To include all moments of life, right? And to include all beings. And what if we bring that compassionate intention into our moments of anxiety, right? Right? So that every moment in our lives is a moment of practice, especially those moments of anxiety. And if we can bring that intention of blessing for all beings into our moments of anxiety, it completely takes the stress and personalization of what we're doing away. And we now feel this whole wider and deeper purpose in everything that we do. So yes, so beautifully said, Stephen.
No, I absolutely agree, Kevin. The quite often in our anxious moments, our anxiety is all very identity and self-driven, right? It's our anxiety or my anxiety and my problem. And the moment that you bring this intention to those, so you experience a moment of anxiety, it comes up. It could be about your body, for example, really simple things, your body, your money, your relationship, something else. As soon as you do that, if you recognize that every single moment is an opportunity to actually offer or dedicate or open to this compassion for others, and that there are many others that are suffering, having hardship, struggling with their body, then you can actually offer that whole intention around wanting to heal, wanting to have more abundance, wanting to find more love in your life. You can offer that as a dedication for everybody else who's in that same position. And there's something just so liberating in doing that, because then you realize in that moment, not only are you not the only one that's suffering this anxiety, and not only are there many more suffering anxiety that you're starting to feel for, but also there's something you can actually do about it. Because the moment that you do that, you start to offer that even the seeds of opportunity to heal this anxiety for yourself, for others, then the moment you start to even free for one moment from that sense of it, you break that cycle, and you recognize that in breaking that cycle, there is this infinite opportunity for liberating, just purely because you've thought about others and considered offering any blessings you get from your own freedom from anxiety for them. It changes perspective. It is amazing how much perspective can shift our whole view of the cosmos. You know, it's often said, if we're not aware of something, then it doesn't exist. So you can think of something like, right now, you might not be aware of a rocket ship that's flying to Mars, right? So for you, you're focused on this talk and you're not aware of, say, something else, some expedition that's going on in another part of the world. But when you are aware of it, suddenly that becomes very real, and you're focused in on the sentiment and the energy of that moment and all the excitement. So it's the same with this. If you're not aware of others, and the only thing you're aware of yourself, that is anxiety, right? You're focused on the identity of this anxious self. But the moment you become aware of others being in a similar situation, and the opportunity to offer this and dedicate this and offer it as a blessing to others, then something actually shifts just fractionally in your perceptive, and you're suddenly aware that there is a collective energy that you can work with and help and assist. So there is something quite marvelous about just shifting your perspective and awareness, just that fraction, onto others, and feeling, oh, I can actually do something. Sometimes with anxiety, we feel a bit powerless, and it's driving so strongly. And then when we let go of that and we think about others in that same instant, there's such an empowering sense of, oh, I can actually do something. And yes, that is offer for others.
Beautiful. And when you have that sense of I can do something, then you're immediately out of anxiety, and you're into a whole different space of purpose and intentionality.
So, exactly.
Thank you, Stephen, for this discussion, and thank you all for watching, and hope that you've drawn some points that you can use in your own practice and in those moments of anxiety. And we're going to continue this series. We have 6 more episodes about how to use the principles of subtle energy meditation to reduce anxiety and shift our relationship to it. So thank you for your practice, and we'll see you again next time. Bye for now.